Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a bit of a statement necklace using these products from the Jessie James Magical Mystery Bead Box for June. So I loved this box. I have used the heck out of it. I've actually made 3 necklaces, a bracelet, and 2 pairs of earrings so far. And I've got this necklace coming up and another pair of earrings. So I have really made good use of the box this month and thoroughly enjoyed working with it. It was a lot of fun. So this beautiful chain, I love this chain so much, and I wanted to use it again. I used it in another necklace, but I wanted to use it again. And there was this mix, I believe it was the citrus. Let me look here. I think it was a citrus mix. Can't remember. Bohemian Party, maybe. I don't know. I've got all the little tags here, but I can't remember which one was which is so bad, but I think it was Bohemian Party. I think that's the mix that I'm using, and this came from the Desert Wood assortment. But I love the colors of these beads together. I don't usually gravitate toward these colors, but I think they're beautiful. So we're going to make a necklace. It's going to be a bib necklace. So it's going to be a bit of a statement necklace, kind of big and chunky. We're going to use some seed beads from my own stash. These are just 8 oh, I just dumped that whole bag out. These are 8 and 6 just cheapo seed beads actually from my stash, but we're going to be using them up the sides of the necklace, and I think that would be really pretty to kind of tie it together, all the colors together. I've got a lobster claw clasp. I'm trying to get all these seed beads out of the way now. I'm just going to scoop them to the side. So let me do that real quick. I'm sorry. My bag came open. I did that earlier too with jump rings. Teeny tiny jump rings in this bag. And it came open and they went everywhere. So it's been a day today. I have actually super glued my finger to a wet wipe. Yeah, it's been a day. Okay, so here's what you're going to need. I have got, this is all of this chain that I actually had left. So let's see how big of a piece this is. This is right at about 5.5 inches. So I've got 5.5 inches of this chain. I have 12 inches each of 2 pieces of Beadalon 7-strand tiger tail. That's what we're going to be using for the sides of this. I have 4 wire guardians, 4 clamshell covers, and 4 crimp size 2 or 2mm crimp beads. Okay, we're going to be using all those. I've got the lobster clasp I mentioned, I think. I have some jump rings, some head pins, some eye pins, and just a bunch of the beads from this box, as well as these mixes of seed beads up here that we're going to use. These are just, like I said, from my own stash. I do have some jump rings, and I've got my wire, or my, all my tools. So get everything together, and come on back, and we will make this necklace. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a bunch of dangles they're going to hang down here. It's going to be kind of like a big bib necklace, okay? So I want to use this guy as a focal, and I think that I'm going to use just a couple of these beads like this. So this is kind of going to be the longest piece here in the middle. And I don't have super long head pins, and I don't have wire. So I'm probably going to have to do an eye pin and put the dangle on the bottom, which I'm okay with that. So let's just go ahead and do this one. So I'm just going to put this, I believe this is, it looks like cracked agate to me. I'm not sure if it really is or not, but it's really pretty. We're going to put this focal on here. And this guy, we'll see if these all fit. It's going to be really tight. So let me take this one and see if I have something smaller. I really kind of wanted something yellow there. So I'm designing this on the fly, if you can't tell. Actually, I do have some yellow beads from a different kit of Jessie James, and I think I'm going to use that one because I really do want something kind of bright and yellow right there. It's still going to be a tight fit. Will it work? I think it will. So I'm just going to bend that at a 90-degree angle. Obviously not going to do a wrap loop here in this situation right now. I'm just going to do a regular loop here. Yeah, it's going to work. Okay. So just create your little loop. And then I'm going to put this one on a head pin. This crystal right here. My head pins are all bent up. And I'm just going to do the same, just create a regular loop here. I may do a wrapped loop. Do I have enough? I think I have enough to do a wrapped loop. I kind of want to do a wrapped loop here. I like the way the wrapped loops look on these necklaces that are kind of earthy and have wood beads, and I just like the look of the wrapped loop. So let's try that. So I'm just going to make a wrapped loop on this guy, and I'm just going to hang him from the end of my other little component right there. That is not the best wrap loop, but it'll be okay. Alright, there we go. Just going to try to tuck it in a little bit here because it's got a very big snagging part sticking out. There we go. Okay. Now I'm just going to open this one. And we're just going to hang him right on there. Make sure that's closed up. Okay, so there is our little focal piece. Now that's my wrap loop. Yeah, it's pretty good, I think. Let me just tuck that in just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so there's our focal piece. Now, what I'm going to do is create on either sides of it. Now, it's going to hang, let's see, we want it to go right in the middle. So let me get, this is how I'm going to measure this. It's 5.5 inches, so I could just do it with a ruler, but I found that it's easier to do this, and it gets it pretty exact. Okay, so I am left on the bottom with a disc being my middle piece, which is really not what I wanted. I really needed one of these jump rings to be my middle piece. So I am going to go as close to the middle as I can get. Let's see, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. That's the problem. I do have another piece of this chain here. So a little tiny bit left. I could do 18, 20. I may do that. I may just attach this on and make it an even number so that my pieces will hang in the middle. Are these open links though? I don't think these are open links. They're not. Okay, so we're just going to have to do it. Or I could just take one off. I'm just going to take one off. We're going to make it an even number. I'm going to take this guy off here. Hate to waste him, but I'll use him for something else. He's a little disc I can use for something else. So now when you put these together, you should have a jump ring for your middle piece, because we've got an even number here. Yep, and we sure do. There it is. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do. We'll have 9 discs on each side, and the middle jump ring between the 9 and the 9 will be where we're going to hang our focal piece. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yep, so right there is where I need to hang this. So I'm going to grab a jump ring. Alright, and I'm just going to hang it right there on that middle jump ring. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, just making sure I was in the right place. So I'm just going to hang it right from here. Close it up really good because those are tiny little rings and thin little rings. They can slip out. So there we have our little middle focal piece. Okay. And now, after I put my glasses on, we're going to create all the dangles that are going to go all up this chain. Okay. So these 2 big ceramic beads, I want to use pretty close to this center bead, and I think probably they're going to hang on these little jump rings right here, because if I hang them over here, they're going to be too close and they're going to be hitting that, and I don't really want that. So let's do the ceramic beads. I'm going to put probably one of these guys. Oh wait, I like these really well. These are pretty. Let's use these. So these red guys on the top, and I need one more kind of a smaller. This would be pretty there. No, that's too big. We need smaller. How about these two orange guys? Those would look good. I think that's what I'll go with. Or I could do these discs. Those would be kind of cool there too. Let me look at that. I think I like that better. Maybe. This is how I design. I'm sorry, guys. This is what I do. I just sit here and I think I like those better. Okay, so let me see if I have head pins long enough for this little situation here. Guess I need to invest in some really, really long head pins. Yeah. I think that I don't know though. I may want to put an eye pin. I may want to use an eye pin and do a little dangle on the bottom. That might be kind of cute. Let's see here. So if we did that, then I could maybe put one of these little cubes on the bottom. Don't really care for the cubes on the bottom right there. I have some little, yeah, I don't know. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Maybe I don't want to dangle anything from the bottom. I kind of like that. And see, this is how, I mean, this is how you figure out what looks good and what doesn't. You just sit here and try, you know? Trial and error. Now, these might look pretty on there because that would give it kind of a 3. Oh, yeah, we might do that. Yeah, I'm thinking that would look kind of good there. Let's try this. Okay, so taking an eye pin. I'm going to put all these on here, these 3 right here, just like this. Not making a wrapped loop because I don't really have enough, but I will on that bottom piece to match the others. So we'll do this. I'm going to cut this back just a tad because I don't want my loop to be too big. I'm going to roll the loop back. Okay. Same thing for the other side. I do seem to have some really long eye pins. I don't know where I got these really long ones, but I like them a lot. And I really need to get some super long head pins. Okay. 90-degree angle here with our wire. Trim it up just a bit. I don't like my loops to be really big, so I'm kind of picky about that. And just roll that back. Alright, so here we have these 2 pieces. I'm going to go ahead and take, do I want to hang them with a jump ring? Or do I want to hang them regular? I think they're going to go right about there. I'm going to make the little dangles first, and then we'll look. So let's do our 2. I'm going to do the wrapped loop, just like I did on the other, so they'll match. You do have to be a little careful when you're doing these wrapped loops with a crystal, because it can break, and that's really annoying when that happens. And if this breaks, I don't have any more, so I'd be out of luck. What I do is I put my finger on the bottom to kind of keep it from spinning and try to tuck that. It doesn't, it's not foolproof. It still will spin a little if you're not, you know, especially if you're on camera trying to do this in front of 10,000 people. Then it's definitely going to keep spinning. Okay. You're getting on my nerves now, little crystal. And these are not that easy to hang on to either. I've got super glue on my fingers. It's terrible. We've been painting our deck, so I've been doing all kinds of stuff today, and I was trying to super glue a bale onto a heart today, a polymer clay heart, and I super glued the bale to the beading mat. Then I was trying to clean that up and super glued the heart to, or the what you call it, oh, wet wipe to my finger. So it's been crazy. There's a long head pin. Let's use this guy. Okay. So same thing, up and over. I didn't do a very good job on that last wrapped loop right there. It's okay, because I kind of like him to have the messy look, but if you were going for neat, that would not be the wrapped loop that you would want to make. But I'm not really going for neat. I'm kind of going for boho messy right now. So it's all good. All right, let me try to tuck that a little. There we go. That one tucked nicely. All right, so let's hang these right on here. We'll see how long they are and where we think that we need to put them on our chain. Okay, so there's one. And here's the other. Okay, so I'm thinking, yeah, skipping about 3 of the discs and hanging from the next little ring there is going to be the best option. And I'm just going to use a tiny jump ring to do that, because I really kind of want it to have movement, and I'm afraid if I hang it straight from that little jump ring, it's going to kind of get bound up a little bit. So I'm just going to put a jump ring on. I'm going to make sure my chain is laying down flat, and then I'm just going to hook this guy right on. It's kind of important that you have your chain laying down flat, because if you don't and you hook it on the opposite side, it can twist up and just create some issues for you. Okay, got that on really good. Now I'm going to lay this side down flat. And you just want to make sure that all your little links are laying right. So, which can be a bit tricky. Yep, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to count up the 3 and put this guy on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, right here, right like that. And I know I'm closing these jump rings with my round nose pliers. Not sure why I'm doing that. But I did notice that this little link is, or this little loop's open. So I'm going to close that a little bit. All right, so here's what we've got. Pretty cute right now. Okay, now we've got a bunch more beads. So I know I want to bring these guys in right here. And I definitely want to bring these 2 in, because they kind of pull this wood tone up here. I might save those for on up here. Let's see. What else do I have? I've got these big metal beads that are really cool. So again, I just kind of lay it out and look at it and see where I want what, or how I want to do it. Kind of like that. Let's look a little bit. Let's see what this would look like. Kind of like that better, even. So this is how we design. We just try and try. Lay things in, move things out. You eventually get what you want. I think I may actually Do I have any more of these tiny yellow beads? Because I'm feeling like... I don't think I have any more of them. I'm feeling like they would look good, kind of corresponding with that one, but I've only got one left, so that's not gonna work. Okay, so it either needs to be, the yellow really needs pulled out. I think we need to pull the yellow in here. So maybe this one. No, I think it needs to be this one. Okay, so I need to pull the yellow in there. I'm thinking I want to put these two up here. And then, yeah, I may do these two in here. Whoops. Like this. So all these beads may not get used, which is okay. I may go there. And I may not even use these two. I'm not sure about them yet. So if we do that, that looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to do, because I don't know that these will all fit on a head pin. Let me see if they will here. They may not. Actually, they do. Okay, so my question here is probably going to hang them from that one. That's going to give me one more little rung up here to go with for these. Do I want to do an eye pin with a dangle here? And I kind of think that I should, because I kind of want this to graduate up. I don't want it to be... So, let's see. Those could go on the head pin. I wonder if these cubes would look cute hanging. Not really. Let's see if this would look better with this little guy hanging. Possibly. That's kind of cute, actually. So let's do that. So let's take our eye pin again. Okay. And we're gonna go... I do have some daisy spacers over here. Don't think I want to use them though. So we're gonna put all these on here. 90-degree angle. Trim this up a tad. And everybody always asks me how far I trim it. I don't even know. I've learned to eyeball it. And, you know, I just kind of trim it to where I know that I'm going to like the length of or the size of that loop. It's just something you learn over time. Alright, so then we're going to do a head pin for this guy. This is going to, using the eye pins like this to do the little dangles on the ends is going to give this a lot of movement. So that'll be kind of cool, I think. Whoops, let's close that up. Yeah, I think because these will, you know, they'll have a lot of movement on the ends, which will be really pretty. Alright, so we're doing a cube, this rondelle, this guy. Just roll this back. Okay. Trying to dig out smaller eye pins to do these little dangles. Or smaller head pins to do these little dangles instead of my long ones. Okay. So let's go ahead and hook them on. hook this one on. And then I'm going to use 2 of the small little jump rings again. I'm digging them out of the bottom of my container over here. I like these little tiny jump rings. I do not like to use big jump rings if I don't have to. Alright. And again, I'm going to make sure that my chain is laying flat and not twisted. Okay, and I think I'm going to hang this one. Do I want to go up one? I think I better. So I'm going to skip this one and this one. I'm going to go up here. And we'll see how they all hang in the end. I mean, if we need to, we can move them. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I think they're going to be pretty good. Alright, so let's do this side. It looks flat. And same thing, I'm going to skip the 2 and go right here. Okay. And there we have that much of it. Okay, so we have another loop right here that we're going to put this dangle on. So let's see, I'm going to do this tiny one at the top, I think, and then this bigger one. And then we're going to do the red one and the yellow one. And I may not even need a dangle on the bottom of this one. Maybe not. Yeah, I think it's going to lay kind of good if I don't do a dangle on there. So I have a big eye pin here. I found a longer one. Let's see if these will fit. Is that going to look right, or does it need the dangle on the bottom? I think that's going to look right. We're going to give it a try. Okay, there's our loop. And we find my little jump rings again. These are, my jump rings are just all kind of thrown in one container. It's a bad thing. Not all the colors, but just all the gold ones are together. That kind of thing. Alright, so let's hook this one right on. Make sure it's closed up real good. We're going to do the other side. This head pin's bent. Okay, so put this one on. I'm sure excited to see July's Magical Mystery Bead Box because they sure hit it out of the park for June. And I would love to know how they're going to top June with July, because this has been just one of the best boxes that I've ever worked with, I think. It's been so easy to create from. A lot of times, some of the boxes that I get, I will sit and just have to look at them and look at them and look at them, and it can be kind of stressful because you know you need to make some tutorials, but it's like, oh my gosh, I can't think of anything. But this one, I've not had that trouble with at all. This one's been so super easy. It's just been a great curation of beads, I can honestly say. Alright, so here we go. We've got all of our little dangles on. They're all looking pretty good, I think. They're hanging really nicely. And so I'm going to start the side. So let's scoot this down a little bit. And the way we're going to do the sides is we've got our tiger tail here. Now, I measured on myself beforehand. I have a little cheat guide that I use for when I make necklaces, so I know for a shorter necklace, which is what I want this to be, that I need 12 inches on either side, so 24 inches total. So that's what I've got here on this one. Now, I may end up shortening this a little bit when we get to the end, because I do want this one to lay really close up to my collarbone. I don't want it to go very far down because of the way that it's designed. So we're going to go ahead and attach this. We're going to put our little crimp bead on our tiger tail. We're going to put our wire guardian on. And again, excuse the super glue all over my fingers, please. It's terrible. Okay, so you put your tiger tail through the little channels on your wire guardian. Well, if you're coordinated, you do it way better than I'm doing it. Okay, and I've got my crimp bead up in there too. So you pull him down. Alright, because we want this wire to go... What the heck is going on here? There we go. We want this wire to go back through our crimp bead. And it's fighting me. Please. There we go. Goodness gracious. Okay. And I've got way too much wire. I'm going to have to pull this. There we go. That's much better. Alright. So, you've got your crimp bead, your wire guardian with your wire going through it. So you want to pull this up because you do not want that wire looped up like you just saw it there. And if you can tell, my wires are crossed. You do not want your wires to be crossed because when you crimp them with your pliers, they need to be side by side so they each go in their little wire channel that they're supposed to go in. So I'm losing my wire. Let me pull this back out a little bit. And I'm going to show you how I do it. So I uncross my wires and I pull this bead up. And I hold it together in my fingernail really tightly with my wires when I get them uncrossed, okay? Then I'm going to take my crimping pliers and I'm going to put the little channel, I'm going to put the bead in the little channel and kind of press down and pull up to where it's tight. I'm still holding the wire with my fingers, okay, my fingernails, and I'm just going to go ahead and crimp this down. And if you did it right, which I think I did, my crimp bead looks a little mushed, but when you crimp this over like this, it's going to fold over and make a nice little ball, which mine did definitely not do. And I've pretty much mastered crimping, I thought, but this one doesn't look too hot at all. It's probably a cheap crimp bead. I've been using the Bead-A-Lon crimp tubes and they are awesome, but I don't have any in gold. So let's... If you do that, just keep smushing it until it falls off again. Now we're going to try one more of these, and if this one doesn't work any better, I'm going to have to switch over to something else, because it's probably just a cheap little crimp bead. Let's try it one more time. I'm going to give it one more chance, because it could just be my awesome crimping style, right? I've been so bad at crimping, but I'm getting better. But it does help if you have quality products too. Okay, so here we go again. Let's look at it again. So our wires are crossed. I'm going to uncross my wires. Make sure they're sitting side by side in here. Just like this, okay? And hold it with my fingers. Now, let's try this again. I think too that I had the plier in there a little bit crooked, which was probably not helping matters much. You want to hold your crimp like this with your wires uncrossed. And you do want your, you want the very middle of that divot to be over your crimp bead. And I think these are just crummy crimp beads. That's all there is to it, because that should not have done that again like that. Let me see if I can close it up. Man, yeah, they're horrible. All right, let me pause this video. I'm going to pull out some better crimp beads. So here's a lesson. Even if people say it doesn't matter, they do. The quality of the crimp beads matter. And these are just some cheapo crimp beads, probably from China. I don't know. But anyway, let me pull out. I've got some different ones. I don't know that they're better, but we're going to try them. So hold on just one second. Okay, so I have pulled out what I think are a better quality crimp bead. We're not going to use these guys. They are crap. All right, so let's try this one. So we're going to put our crimp bead on here. Glasses back on. Okay, and we're going to put our wire guardian through it. Coming around here. I think this is a better quality crimp bead. Pretty sure. Okay. So again, same thing. We're just going to make sure that the wires are not crossed. There they are. I'm going to take my pliers, center that bead right in there, and crimp it down. Yeah, I can tell this is a way better crimp bead. It smushed much more evenly, if that makes any sense. It did. So then we turn it sideways here in our pliers, and we're just going to close it up. Yeah, that's a much better crimp bead. So it does make a difference, guys. You know, sad but true, it does. All right, so now we're going to take our seed beads here, and I'm just going to dump out a few of each one. I'm not going to do this in a pattern. This is going to be very random. And these are junk seed beads, let me tell you. They are junk, but that's what this is good for. And I actually kind of like the random look of them on here when they're junky in all different sizes. I actually think it looks good. So, do I want to use another bead before I start this? You know what I did? I just totally shut my wire guardian and did not put it on my wire, or on my, well, we're just going to attach it with a jump ring. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm like losing it today, guys. Sorry. I kind of like that like this. Or does this look good? No, that doesn't look good, but I do kind of like that there. So I may do that. So I'm going to put on this gold bead. Okay, and then I'm just going to start picking up these seed beads randomly. And you can just use your wire kind of like a needle. And I'm not doing any sort of pattern. I'm just going to pick them up very randomly. And I have some 8s in here. The little gold ones are 8s. And the red and the kind of orange AB over here are 6s. You can use 11s. You can use whatever you want. But like I said, I'm just doing it very random. Sometimes it's even picking up 2 of the same one when I do it. That's fine. And we're just going to bead all the way up. All the way up this side. You know what? I had some bright yellow ones too here that, oh, I actually do want to use those. Okay, so I'm going to take some of these off because I do want to use these bright yellow ones. I forgot I had them. They were out there. But yeah, they need to be in there. They'll tie this together really well. Okay, sorry guys. And you can just stick them all in a pile and just randomly pick them up if you want. I just kind of, I don't want to have to sit and separate them later. So I keep them a little bit separate. If they kind of run together, it's not a big deal, but yeah, we definitely needed the yellow in there. That's kind of pulling it together for sure. And I'm just going to sit here and pick up seed beads until I have this whole side of my necklace filled all the way to about 1 inch from the top, because I do need enough room to crimp the top and everything. So go ahead and put your seed beads on and then come right back. Okay, so I've done this whole side of my necklace with my seed beads, and I'm getting ready to attach my clamshell. Now I want to bead up as far as I possibly can before I put my clamshell on. So I'm getting way, way up here, about like this, okay? So then I'm going to slide my clamshell on. I'm going to put my crimp bead on. I may regret beading up this far, we'll see. Okay? Now, if you can grab this tip right here of the wire that's sticking out with your plier and just hold it, let gravity pull this down, it's going to be a lot easier. And then you just take your other plier and come in here and mash your crimp bead. You don't have to do this crimp bead pretty because it's not going to show, okay? So just come on in here with your other pliers and just get it kind of tight. You don't want it so tight that it is stick straight. You want it to have some movement, but you want to mash that crimp bead down really good. Okay? And then, what does it do with my cutters? Tell you what, it's been a day. I really just need to probably quit and go to bed because I had my cutters here. Now they've disappeared. Alright, so let's go right here with these cutters. These are different ones. And we're just going to cut that chain or that tiger tail right off. And we're just going to close our clamshell cover up. Now, if you don't trust this, if you worry, you can put a little dab of glue in there. I've never had a problem with it coming open, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so we're going to do the same exact thing to our other side. And normally, I would attach this right onto this little link here where I'm going to attach it. But since I forgot to do that, we're just going to go ahead and put the wire guardian on and the crimp bead and just make a loop, and we'll do our attaching with a jump ring because I'm very absent-minded sometimes. So let's go ahead and just stick it through there. And you can use crimp bead covers if you want to cover that up. I don't really find that it's that noticeable, so I don't really use those a whole lot, but you definitely can. Alright, so I'm just trying to preserve as much wire as I can, making sure they're not crossed. I'm going to grab this with my pliers, bend it, or divot, put the little divot in there, turn it sideways, and close it right up. Okay. And those are a better quality crimp bead, but they're actually not the best either. Bead-A-Lon makes the best ones, and I need to get on somewhere and invest in a bunch because these kind of are crappy. And as you can see, my crimp bead is actually moving around, which is not good at all. And I may end up having to redo this one. So let me fool with this and I'll be right back. Okay, well I have pulled on it really hard and it's not coming undone. So I think that even though this is a crappy crimp bead, I think it's okay. But yeah, invest in good crimp beads. I have not, and I really, really need to. I have the silver ones in Bead-A-Lon, but I have never bought like all the other colors, but it's just totally necessary. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side. We're putting our disc bead on first. Whoops. And then we're just going to bead up the sides with our seed beads. And again, if you want to make a pattern, you by all means do it. But I am not making a pattern. I'm just going ahead and picking them up randomly. That's how I want them to look. And so go ahead and do your other side and come right back. Alright, so I am back and I'm going to do my clamshell cover and my crimp bead on the other side. I wanted to say too one thing about the crimp beads, like when you're doing it just like this with the clamshell cover and everything, it's not really a big deal if you're using the cheapo ones, so, but it's when you're trying to do it and it's going to show in your work that it's a big deal. So you know, this one is going to be covered by the clamshell cover, so it's not a huge deal if it doesn't look all that great, but yeah. So you can use your cheapo ones for this when you're using a clamshell, and use your good ones when it's going to show. So I will definitely be investing in some better crimp beads. I can say that right now. Alright, so let's close this guy up. And we're about finished. This necklace is just about done. Okay. Straighten that up. Alright, so we have our, get these out of the way. I'm definitely going to be sorting seed beads. Okay, we have our middle piece here. So what we want to do is we want to grab it by the little ends, the two little ends that are left. And we want to pick it up and just kind of lay it out here. See, we've got this one flipped over here. We don't want that. So just kind of lay it out straight. And then we're just going to take a jump ring and we're going to hook on our little beaded sides. Okay, so let me get a couple jump rings right here. And we'll hook these on. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to hook it right on there, right onto the little link, just like that. I am going to make sure it's closed up really good. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, now I'm going to hold this necklace up really quick and just look at it on myself, or feel where it's hanging on me, and make sure that I like it. And I do. Okay, so we're going to put our ending on. Okay, so all we need to do for that is take a ring. Any jump ring that you've got will work for the lobster to clasp onto. I have some really thick ones here that I would like to use, but my I know they won't fit through the little hole on the clamshell, so we're not going to do that. But so you're just going to close the ring up for your lobster to clasp onto, and then just go ahead and hook your lobster on with a jump ring. And you're all done. Get this guy on. If you need it to be longer than it is, you can definitely put an extender on there. So that would be no problem at all to do. And then it would definitely be adjustable. Alright, so here is our finished necklace. Let me put this on a form and I will be right back to show it to you. Okay, so here is our finished necklace. So it's definitely a statement piece. I like it. I think it turned out really pretty. I love these colors. They kind of remind me of fall or candy corn. But yeah, I think it's a beautiful piece. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do have some earrings coming that are going to go along with this. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure that you hit the bell, subscribe and hit the bell so it will notify you when I upload videos, because I do a lot of sets. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll have links for the Magical Mystery Bead Box in the description box below. And you guys have a great rest of the day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.